Hi everyone, today's video is dedicated to a progression guide for Disgaea RPG, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. One of the first things you do when you log in is claim all of your gifts, whichever goodies that you have. Maybe you're going to have like equipment and stuff like that, so go into your parties, make sure to equip gear. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that, because it's one of the things that the game doesn't really explain. Right here, we're at the equip section, click equip right there, hit it on auto set your gear. I'm not going to do it because I have specific gear on to make Desco much more powerful. Whichever character you rerolled for, it really doesn't matter. Gear is going to be an important piece when you first start the game, so your characters don't start with like no stats. The demonic curry, the little equipments that you get, like the chocolates and whatnot, the little prism ranger, the pre-register gifts are really good in order to start out your account. We're at the dimension gate, and the next thing I want us to do is go into dark gates, go into the exp gate, and you're gonna go at least like one round in here so you can get some of your characters up to like level 40 and whatnot. And then once you do that, you pretty much jump back. Let's say you did one exp gate, right? I don't want us to be in here for too long. The next thing you're gonna go is go into events. Now it doesn't matter if you're in the magical holy night event. It really doesn't. The thing that I want us to go in here and go into battle and pretty much go through the story and try to get like around 15,000 points. Probably you'll probably stop like around like stage 4 or right here in easy, right? And the reason being is because like the monsters are like around level 70. So, maybe your borrowed friends are not strong enough. Jump into a fight. We're just going to go ahead and showcase some things. That way you can speed up the gameplay. That way you can progress even faster, because one of the things that I want to focus on is speed, so you can jumpstart your account, so you can have some fun, tackle harder content. So the biggest thing with Disgaea is progressing, building your characters. We're going to turn off auto really quick, just so we can pretty much get this animation speed rolling faster. One of the things is pretty much turning your skip skill animations on, alright? So if this is off, it will actually play the animation, so turn it on. And then I fixed the voice speed because I found it annoying. When I turn on power saving mode, it doesn't really matter. I just do it because sometimes I play on my phone. And then once you hit auto, the damage pretty much rolls out. You don't have to watch the animations. Of course, you can leave the animations on if you want to, but this is just so you can speed up your progression, get things going a little bit faster, and you don't have to wait through everything. That way you can level your characters. One thing with Disgaea RPG is you want to level your characters. This is a grinding PvE sort of deal, so the faster that you can progress, the better. The more content that you can tackle, the more you can build your waifus and husbandos, and even all the monsters that you collect. So right there we get some level ups, which is super nice. Alright, so once you are pretty much like done with the events, you collect like a certain amount of points, you're gonna go back, and now you're going to jump into the exchange portion. We're gonna click back right here, and then hopefully once we get there, we're gonna hit back one more time. You're gonna go to exchange. One of the things is getting one copy of whichever event character is going to be appearing. It doesn't matter if you have like Noelle or not. The important part is you have an extra person, so configure your roster however you will. I just want to show how you do that because it was a little confusing at first. You click party right there, you select whichever slot, and then you're like, all right, I want to pick this character. That person is going to go in the slot, and that's how it's going to work out. So this is like the best way to do it in case like some of you were like confused or like, I don't know how this works. You pretty much just click the characters, and that's how you can set up your party, and you can also optimize it if you want. Let's talk about some tips to configure your party to progress even faster. I recommend picking up a copy of Blue Ranger because he has this ability to increase speed plus 4% for humanoid allies. Just note speed is the hardest stat to raise, so any speed characters are really good, and Flan's going to be decent for doing some heals. She's okay, and the things that I want us to focus on are like all allies. These abilities right here, it affects everyone, so everyone gets a little boost in stats, everyone gets like some heals. If it says self like here, then characters except for this one right here, Prism Blue, will be the only one getting like the buffs and stuff. And here it says monster allies, so only monster allies will get this buff. But here you saw earlier, all enemies will also be getting defense minus 15%. One of the characters that I want to point out really quick in case you're wondering is if you go into your party, even like these 4-star characters that you randomly get, or these 3-star characters, he's actually going to be pretty good because all enemies are getting minus defense and resistance, right? So you can deal more damage against characters. One of the rare characters that have this ability is going to be Desco. So someone like this butterfly who's just like a random can get it as well. So feel free to look out for any characters that can possibly benefit your overall group, because this is going to be one of the things that differentiates you from like other people starting out the game, is actually actually looking at their evil teas and paying attention to what skills that they can actually do, because those evil teas are going to hold you up as you progress further into the game in order to make your party more effective to deal more damage. All right, so those are some party tips. Let's go ahead and jump back into Dimension Gate. The things that I want us to focus on is jumping into the main story after we've done some of the events, after you've made your party just a little bit better by comparing evil teas and noting like, hey, you know, this is like a monster ability, this is like some of the abilities that I want for my party. Is it going to be a human party? Is it going to be a mixed party? Is it just going to be a defense reducing party? Is it going to be a jack of all trades? We'll do a party guide later on, all right, or team tips. Next thing is jumping here into Waste Incinerator. I want us to pretty much complete this chapter. You want to get this far in pretty much the main story. The reason why you want to get this far is because this is going to give you the ability to unlock Item World. But before we talk about Item World, let's go ahead and go into EP1. The reason why you want to also jump into EP1 as soon as possible is if you go into details right here, you actually unlock Prism Blue is going to give you that speed, that humanoid characters that I want, you know, Flan, Noelle, Etna, all those humanoid characters. If you're wondering what is a humanoid character, what is going to be a monster character, you just have to look for one symbol. This is the symbol right here. You see it's like a little white thing or blue thing, that's going to be human. And then if they have like this little red symbol with like little mean face sort of deal, that's going to mean they're a monster. All right, so just for clarity's sake, I wanted to explain that. Okay, and the reason why you wanted to get to the Waste Incinerator portion is so you can unlock the Item World. Item World is going to be essential so you can unlock one of the best items in the game, and it's going to give you a bunch of HP. So let's say you're like, oh Bork, what do I need to do? Go into the Demonic Curry right here, or go into the Prism Badge. I know you're going to be getting one copy of this at least from the pre-registration gifts, and then you're going to set a bunch of level 1 characters. Now the reason why you want to set a bunch of level 1 characters is because you want them to die. You want them to die because you get a special item from the Nether Hospital. The Nether Hospital is a special place to help you in case you need more AP, in case you need more items, in case you need more gear in order to progress within the game. Yes, there's a certain limit, and the limit is 5,000 deaths. The reason why you want level 1 characters is you need 5,000 deaths to claim this wonderful item so you can pretty much progress within the story much faster. And hopefully this Prism Yellow is going to die soon. And no, all of the Prism Rangers except for Prism Red, I think that you get from like the story and stuff. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and quit the battle since we've died, and then we're gonna jump into that Nether Hospital that we were just talking about. You're gonna go into facilities right here, and then you're gonna jump into the Nether Hospital, and you're going to focus on the right hand side so you can claim some rewards. See here we have 5,000 deaths, and then we go into claim rewards right here. We're gonna scroll all the way down as far as we possibly can, go to the 5,000 deaths part where we want this muscle dream. This muscle dream is so important, and if you have the ability to do so, equip it on Noelle so you can get more heals, or you can equip it on Laharo or, you know, Valvatores, or whichever character that you pretty much have in order to make your roster much stronger. This piece of gear specifically so your team party can be much stronger. So you're going to go into equip right here, and we're going to look at this muscle victory. It's going to give us 67,000, but we are going to look at muscle dream because that's an important one, which is 165,000 HP. And guess what? If you look at the ability or ability for pretty much Noelle, you can see here that all allies heal by 6% of max HP when a turn begins. So essentially, when you run this team, you will get 20k heals if you have, like, you know, more HP gear. You know, I recommend putting like the gratitude chocolate right here. It's up to you, but at the end of the day, more HP means more heals, so you can progress even further within the game. Now that you have unlocked that, jump into the shop and show you something very important to progression as well, because this shop is going to dictate how you're going to see certain things, right? So make sure to buy these HL items all out. You want to get all the AP potions, and you want to get all of these dungeon like skip tickets so you can farm like EXP, and you want to get all of these gold candies, all of them, okay? Get the gold bars, buy them all at once. The reason why you want to do this, if you go back, don't forget to buy these like 10 little like quartz things. They're really hard to see, so for progression purposes, of course, these are great. They're only like 10 nether quartz, and they're going to provide you so much value. Where's the other one? There's like 2 of them. There's like 10 quartz. Ah, here's the one. There's an Xmas special, and I believe like the other one was like a New Year's special. And then don't forget, you can buy like AP potion set set. They're limited to 1 time a day, and you can also buy the gate key set. I think like the AP potion one is the most worth it in case you're farming, because farming is really important. And then the reason why you wanted to get like these items specifically, you know, the golden candy, is if you go into facilities after you get through a certain point within main story, you're gonna unlock the dark assembly. The reason why you want to unlock the dark assembly is because the dark assembly is going to give you things like more party slots, increase on your customer ranks, plus like cool stuff, and most importantly, you can also increase the amount of EXP that you get from dungeons. But we're going to go ahead and increase our customer rank because this is an important part of progression. If you can increase your customer rank, that means you can get better gear. Better gear means better progression in the entire game. All right. So everyone's sort of iffy on whether we're going to do this. So we're going to bribe them. We're going to give them like gold candy and gold bars. So I recommend bribing like the neutral people first, getting them slightly favorable, or getting them to at least like you. Some of them don't have to like completely like you. Like they can stay slightly favorable. Like that's okay. But you want at least like, you know, a couple of them, you know, willing to actually vote for you. So we're going to go ahead and click the vote now. Start voting. You don't have to go too crazy on this. Yeah. And then there's going to be some people who hit nay, but their nay is like really tiny. So now we've increased our customer rank. The reason why, go into the shop, go into the equipment, and now you can pretty much use that so you can gain more better equipment like we talked about earlier. You want to actually look for stuff in the armor shop as well, because some of this stuff is really good. One of the things is this gut belt right here. You get HP 271 and you also get 256 attack from it. And of course you can go into your weapons. Sometimes, you know, there's stuff like the innocent and common ones, but if you get lucky you can get the legendary. Let's go ahead and refresh it for funsies. Can we get a legendary? You get 5 refreshes per day absolutely for free. This is the best way to, you know, get actual good gear without relying on the stuff that's like free. You're doing all the dark assembly stuff and jumping into the shops. Now it's a dance between what you want to do. You can go into main story and keep pushing. You can jump into events. Biggest recommendation is after you've unlocked Muscle Dream, right? Which is, you know, from Item World and Nether Hospital. Going through story, and then if you get stuck in story, go into dark gates. Make sure you complete every single dark gate every single day. You have pretty much X amount of runs, 3 runs each dungeon. So you can see here, there's 3 runs here, 3 runs here. All of these are individual, so make sure to clear them out so you can get more resources throughout the day. And one of the things before you do EXP gate is don't forget to approve that bill in the facilities. That way you can get more EXP. I recommend checking out ClayQZalt's EXP video. It was really good to go over everything and seeing like how EXP actually works and how you can stack stuff. Biggest recommendation is of course going through here and beating Magical Holy Night in hard mode or whichever event that's going to be appearing for you. That way you can get the most bang for your buck. I wanted to show you one last thing, and that's going to be my Google spreadsheets right here. I'll leave links down below. I left like sort of like a cliff notes on what to do, where it's like, hey, for progression, raise your characters, do EXP dungeon, do events, do story. After you get like a certain level, you run out of some AP, you can't do EXP dungeon, you can't do events, you can't do story, then start going into pretty much item world, grinding gears, getting some great innocence. Mentioned, you know, unlocking more item ranks within the dark assembly through the main story. And then also don't nether enhance unless you really have to, because some characters you're going to need them. And then this is going to be a thing to 6-star awaken characters. Don't use other characters to awaken other characters. You should use printies that you get from the main story. That's going to be helping out a lot. And also here's like a thing in case you're wondering, how do you maximize stamina? That way you can play the game as long as possible and everything. And also right here, this is going to be credits to the official cord. What's the most efficient path in order to tackle like any event? They're going to be updating this as you pretty much go through this, so it's really cool. And if you want like more stuff, I left it in the title page. I'll upgrade like this Google sheet as time flows, pretty much the same way I do with Princess Connect. And here's going to be the official cord links and all that stuff. Thing that you have to know about Disgaea is progression is dictated by how you manage your time, whether it's jumping into main story, focusing on events. Most of the time you should be focusing on main story because a lot of stuff is locked behind here. A lot of like the different in-game mechanics and different stages to unlock more gear within main story. Events is sort of like a side thing, and of course you should definitely get that nether printy because that nether printy is going to be important in order for your characters to actually, you know, be upgraded and everything. I'm talking about this bad boy. This is essentially like a dupe character, which is like 5,000 like nether quartz, which is like absolutely insane. I recommend saving your summons, you know, just so you can get Summer Roslyn. She's going to be a perfect character that you can get for progression, and she should be coming in the next 2 weeks or a month. Big banner that we're going to be getting. So if you're trying to stay free to play and you know like the rates in this game isn't the best and there's no pity, I recommend saving for her because she's going to help with overall progression. Outside of that, if you don't care about that, feel free to roll for whoever you want because this game has no PvP, so it's dictated by how much time and how much fun that you want to spend on it. If you have any more tips as far as like progression go, leave them down below. Also jumping here into shop, I almost missed it. Go into equipment. Don't forget to like buy just like 10 random pieces of gear out. So let's say we're just gonna buy these. Actually, I want to go into armor and I want to buy a bunch of gut belts because these are my favorite. And you can also buy some shoes because these shoes are also going to be nice to increase your speed a little, so you get like 3 speed from there. We already got like the lottery ticket. Let's go back. Here is going to be a lottery ticket. It's a random chance to get like a legendary piece of gear if you get first. I've never gotten one. I always get the white ticket. I think that means I lost. There it is. Yeah, I pretty much got 500 HL. That's like one of the things that you can do. Don't forget to go into facilities, go into your Nether Hospital, and claim your free stamina throughout the day. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you learned something about progression and everything. Gaia RPG is just a long road of grinding. It's purely PvE. It's 100% a grind, comparable to the likes of Grand Blue Fantasy, and you don't even have to speed yourself up in order to grind. It's just all for the love of it. So you can be part of the community who's also grinding this game. You can talk about it on Reddit and everything. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 17,000 farmers subs, we'll be doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, and we've hit 17,000. We're so close to the goal. Have yourself a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.